Hey Virgo, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to your weekly quick read for the week beginning October the 18th. We continue with Mercury retrograding in Scorpio. We still have the remnants of that super new moon energy in Libra. I wanted to mention a couple of other things that I didn't choose to extend on last week, simply because we had to wait for that Mercury retro in Scorpio to start permeating below the surface. Let's talk about the shadows. The shadow aspect of the Scorpio archetype takes us to the depths of that volcanic water, or the waters of the fires beneath a volcano, you know. And as a fixed sign, we know in ourselves, because of our emotional fears, because of our inability to process emotions, or whatever the case may be, face our emotions, to go to the depths of what they're truly trying to teach us, we can be very fixed and not budge from old ways. Mars retrograding in Aries is going to have a very, if I look at it from a shadow aspect, it's going to have a very much a victim mentality vibe to it. We can have a tendency to be, you know, what about me? Why do things not work out for me? A very me focus, not considering others, okay, as we drive to meet our own needs. And sometimes we are driven by our fears, yeah? The super new moon in Libra, actually, I also want to talk about Venus being in your sign, Virgo, which can actually be quite uncomfortable and challenging, simply because in the shadow, now I'm talking about shadow aspects simply because it's a really big theme at the moment for the collective. Virgo in its shadow aspect can be nitpicky, can be a perfectionist, can be unrealistic in its expectations of what perfect means. Now, I mention that simply because this super new moon in Libra is all about, you know, the super new moon in Libra, and we now have Venus in Virgo. Libra is all about balance and harmony, and, you know, there is a greater need to bring some form of healing and balance in all of us. Doesn't matter what station or area of our life we're sort of wanting to bring into balance. But clashing with Venus in Virgo, we can be unrealistic about our expectations on how we need things to be perfect, or to be a certain way in order for it to be perfect, so that I can say, yes, my life is beautiful, I look beautiful, things are harmonious within me and around me, all right? So just being aware of that, and that clashing energy can take us into that shadow archetype of Mars in Aries, can take us to the shadow archetype of Scorpio that I mentioned earlier. Whether we have Scorpio or Aries in our chart or not, we're all going to be feeling it. We'll be witnessing it in those connections around us, and just being aware of what's rising to the surface in order to be looked at and healed is everything. You guys are processing grief. Maybe there's an ending. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. There's definitely a brand new beginning here. Maybe it's connected to the past in some way. On some level, Virgo, you know that you cannot go back to the past. There's a natural grief that happens with the past. When this is at the bottom of your deck, you know, there's judgment here, okay? When the trumpet calls, you can't ignore this thing anymore. How have you allowed grief and loss, or a fear of loss, or something that was lost from the past, how have you allowed that to affect what your emotional fulfillment is in the here and now? The Nine of Cups is about getting your wish fulfillment in the realms of love, in the realms of emotion. What is your relationship with your emotions, and what does it mean to be harmonious, balanced, and to feel like you are actually full of love for life, for self, for your connections, for your work? Take it however it resonates. You're being influenced by deception energy when the Seven of Swords shows up. This is about whether it's, you know, this is something you've experienced in the past, okay, where you lost happiness, or happiness was lost because of deception energy. This is about, you know, taking and being selfish, serving self, whether that was another, whether that was you. Take it however it resonates. How have you allowed this Seven of Swords, heavier sort of deceptive energy influence happiness in your life, and more importantly, emotional fulfillment? I feel someone was juggling here, okay, deciding on the best way forward. Do I move forward with this? What does my version of happiness mean? How much am I allowing that to be polluted by deceptions of the past? And certainly we can be deceptive within ourselves and take something because it emotionally satisfies us. All right, but there's a deeper truth to this, Virgo, okay? Underneath it all, underneath the layers, perhaps you've been processing a lot of grief from the past. lost in one way or another. The grief energy can affect our sacral chakra. Our sacral chakra is about our creativity, creating a new future. And certainly that can be challenging when we are stuck in perceptions of the old. We can be stagnating in old ways of looking at things. This grief energy can also affect our sacral chakra when it comes to our creativity, our sexual expression, our divine creative expression of self, and feeling like that we're lit with the fires of divine competence. There's something that was lost or is lost here, because I feel like there's a whole new beginning. For many Virgos I'm connecting in, you've got the Fool card in the recent past, you've got the Four of Wands card in the present, you've got the Three of Wands, okay? There's a manifestation here. You are manifesting something, perhaps. I don't know if it's linked to whatever you think your emotional fulfillment and your Nine of Cups is. But there's something here in the shadows, okay, about deception, about Seven of Swords energy, about juggling, all right? So there's karma balancing, okay, and you can't ignore your intuition anymore. And this was ultimately about getting to your emotional harmony and wish fulfillment, all right? Knowing what it means to connect on emotional levels. Have we held back because of grief? Take it however it resonates. Now, I want to apply this to finances. I want to apply this to career. Whenever something was lost in the past, that could certainly influence our choices moving forward. Something, you know, things never work out for me. Let's go back to the shadow aspects of the cosmic placements I talked about earlier. I can be very focused on self in order to get what I want, in order to survive. But what is my bigger picture? What is my ultimate wish fulfillment is what I do want to say. When that comes to your job, when it comes to your career, your creative goals, more importantly, your divine expression of self. I see here you needed a brand new restart thanks to the Fool card. This is like a whole new life chapter. Something had to be completely reset, and maybe the past was at play in many ways, but had to be karmically balanced, okay? This Four of Wands energy asks us, what is your Four of Wands, Virgo? Who are the two eyes, the two arms, the four walls you want to call home? And I could certainly apply that to not just relationships, but career as well. Feeling at home, like I can be myself, like I don't have to carry this thing around or be deceptive. And sometimes, you know, deception energy is us feeling like we can't be ourselves. Take it however it resonates. What did you sacrifice and invest where you were deceiving yourself away from happiness is what I do want to say, okay? You've manifested something here, and watch what you actually draw into your life. I'm even going to say the last 3 weeks are relevant. The next 3 weeks are relevant for you to ultimately culminate into this new chapter. I think you guys are in a major transition mode to take you in. Like there's a purpose to everything. You will see the purpose of everything, the past, the present, the current feelings that you're processing in this, you know, we're going to the shadows of Scorpio, like I said, the deeper Plutonian stuff. We are processing the shadows of the ego. And maybe in many ways, Virgo, grief was holding you back and influencing your expression of self and experience of your creative expression in one way or another. Okay, the energy or the lack or a fear of lack is what I want to say can certainly get in the way. Okay, watch what you can achieve over the next 4 weeks, my friend. That was your general reading. If you wanted a personal one, head on above to the link in the bio to the Indigo Ascension shop where you can book one online. Until next week, take care.